Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Oh! Oh no! Oh my god! No way! Oh! It's Saber Tooth! Oh, look at these fights! What is up, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Now, you're probably wondering, what? Didn't you do these yesterday? Don't you usually space them out a few days out from each other, Infinity? I like to do that. I like to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday for these videos, but since I didn't put it up on Wednesday and I put one up yesterday, I said, let's do another one because there's a lot of news that happened between yesterday and now. Yes, and you're probably thinking, like, a lot of news? Like, what type of news happened, man? Like, what happened? I'm like, a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of news that dropped that I really want to talk about. But, guys, here on the channel, we talk about everything going on with the movie, TV, and video game world, especially on this little podcast or, show you guys tune into 3 times a week, 2 times a week, who knows. But, if you guys have any comments, any stories that ever want to cover, leave comments down below. Put your thoughts, opinions, and theories down below as well. And, guys, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you get a chance, press the little subscribe button right here. Press that button because it's super important when you press that button because when you press it, you help us out so much on our road to 500 subs. And with all of that out of the way, let's move on to our first topic here today. And that is this. Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider just had a brand new series debut on Netflix. A brand new series. And it had very much mixed reactions. Didn't have the greatest Rotten Tomatoes score. I can tell you that for sure. If we go over the Rotten Tomatoes, the series on Rotten Tomatoes debuted with a 73%, but a very low audience score in the 32 percentile. So not the best Rotten Tomatoes score, but a very, very poor audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. But and Netflix, doesn't really do second seasons to shows they don't believe in. Well, according to a new article from The Hollywood Reporter, Lara Croft is continuing her adventures. According to them, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, renewed at Netflix. So this comes very quickly as the show probably released, I think, about 2 weeks ago, where Tomb Raider with Hayley Atwell is getting a second season. It was looking like that this was going to be a one and done. But no, guys, this Lara Croft is getting another season. Now, I've not yet to watch the show. This does pique my interest a bit, maybe I should check out the show, do a reaction on the channel if we ever get around to it. There's a lot of shows I want to do reactions to, but, Tomb Raider, I enjoy the games, I really enjoyed that Lisa Vanderkirk game. I really enjoyed, not a game, but movie. The Lisa Vanderkirk movie, I think, is a very underrated movie. I very much enjoy that film. You got One Gobbins in there as well. But Alyssa Vanderkirk, just like in that film, was how I imagined Tomb Raider would look in live action. It felt like I thought she was really great as Lara Croft. But they did cancel that movie and they decided to do this animated series, which apparently it did well because it got season 2. I'm excited to see where they can go with it. I'm not really well versed into the world of Lara Croft. Tomb Raider, I've played a few of the games. I played like the latest game. I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider or Legend of the Tomb Raider, which was like her going to a Mayan village. Which that would be really cool to see because it has very much a horror feel to that game as well. So that'd be cool if they adapted that to screen. But guys, what do you think? Tomb Raider is getting a second season over on Netflix, which is a surprise because Netflix usually doesn't do season 2s for their shows. Leave your comments down below. Let's move on to our second topic here today, and that is this: Venom: The Last Dance, coming out today. It is in theaters now, guys. I am seeing it tonight. Expect the out of theater review tonight as well. I cannot wait to see this film. I'm so excited. We talked about the Rotten Tomatoes score yesterday. Wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst of the Venom franchise. And, this movie's still on track to do a lot of money, but this morning, the audience score has come out for the film. Yes, the audience score. And I expected it's higher than usual. The audience score is now at a 77%. This kind of tracks because the Venom films have between like an 80 and 85% audience score usually. So showing that, even though the critics do not like this movie, that the critics have made abundantly clear that this movie is in the realm of Joker 2, which I don't really think it's in that realm. But the audience seems to love it. If you still hasn't seen the film, so we're gonna go over the Joker 2 right now. Joker 2. Let's see that the audience score on Joker 2. It got 32%, that movie on Rotten Tomatoes, but had an audience score of 32%. So there's a big difference here, where the audience and critics did not like Joker 2. It's different here. The audience likes Venom. It has a 77% audience score on there, guys. So that means this is the film people like. And everyone has loved the Venom franchise. I have personally loved this franchise. It's such a fun franchise to be a part of, to go see in the theaters, I think it knows what it is. They're funny, goofy, buddy cop films, with Venom and Eddie Brock. And that's what I'm going to go see. And, I've heard, oh my god, there's some things in this movie, there's some post-credit scenes that might explain the grander scheme, what they have for Noah. I'm like, that's exciting to see. I'm excited to see what that really means, And also, it's the final movie, guys. It's the final movie. This is the final kind of nail in the Sony universe. Of course we got Craven coming, but I enjoy the Venom films. It's kind of hard to imagine. I never thought we'd have a Venom trilogy, but we do have that now, and I think, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I honestly think I'm gonna enjoy it. This is the type of movie where I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna enjoy that film. I think I'm gonna enjoy that film. But guys, what do you think? Venom: The Last Dance. It seems like the audience are liking the film more than the critics. Leave your comments down below on that topic, and let's move on to our third topic here today. Now we get into we never like to talk about doom on the channel, bad things. We never want to talk about bad things happening. Well, a new report has come up by Variety in doing with Star Wars, specifically with the Daisy Ridley film, which was supposed to be the first Star Wars film to be released back in theaters after Rise of Skywalker. This is going to Variety. Star Wars movie with Daisy Ridley loses screenwriter Stephen Knight. Now, if you don't know who Stephen Knight is, Stephen Knight, he was the main creative force behind the hit series with Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders. So he's a very, very talented writer. And the article says, they just had creative difference. Stephen Knight has unfortunately exited this project. This is just another nail in the coffin, guys. That Star Wars does not know how to function really anymore, especially Lucasfilm, This is a lot similar to the Obi-Wan Kenobi situation. I'm not saying they're both the same, but, there was an idea to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy with a writer who was a huge fan of Star Wars, and he was let go. And then we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which had some of his ideas, but not a lot of them. And, it was just completely different. The Rey movie has been a movie I have been one of the few people who've been like, I'm a bit on board with. I think I can get on board with this movie because, I do get a lot of people do not like that sequel trilogy. But I do like The Force Awakens. A lot of people forget that The Force Awakens was a really great film. It was a really great film, which I think it made $2 billion at the box office. I think it did. People love that movie. I think that's a great movie. It kind of went down a little bit after that, and when we got to Rise of Skywalker, it definitely dropped the ball a lot. But, I think there's still promise for this character. I think Daisy Ridley, I think she's dealt with so much backlash from the fans, I think, she's an actor. She's just doing what she sees in the script. She's hired just to read the script, guys. It wasn't her fault that The Rise of Skywalker was written that way or that it was directed that way. It's not her fault. I think, I want to see her. I want to see where the Rey character is because I feel like Star Wars now is like, okay, we're just going to not talk about the sequel trilogy. And I feel like, okay, this is the first time we're kind of mentioning the sequel trilogy, going not back, but forward to see where is Daisy Ridley's Rey, where is her character, and then losing a writer, a writer as talented as Stephen Knight, who worked on the show Peaky Blinders, which really is one of the, guys, you gotta watch Peaky Blinders, it is a great freaking show, it is so freaking great, it's where I kind of really fell in love with Cillian Murphy, it was way before, his Oppenheimer Oscar, and it's such a great crime show. It's so great. And, I don't know where this project goes now, guys. I think this project is dead. Honestly, with the comments the director of this film has made about women in Star Wars, And now with this Stephen Knight leaving this project, I think it's a huge disappointment for Lucasfilm, but also for the fans who want to see this movie. This movie could be Rey's second shot. It could remind us that Rey is a really interesting character. With her whole story being the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, her being the successor to Luke Skywalker. Where does she leave that off? Where's Finn going? Where's the rest of the crew? Where is she in her life being the only Jedi left? But guys, what do you think about this? Stephen Knight has officially left the Daisy Ridley Rey movie. Another tragedy in the limelight of Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy and them not knowing what the hell they're doing with Star Wars at all. And with all that out of the way, let's move on to our fourth topic here today. And our fourth topic is this, ladies and gentlemen. Agatha All Along has been a great series. There's no denying now, guys. It has been a great series. It is not an okay series. It is a great series. It's a series that I personally love. In the last episode, I was in the minority thinking, I thought it was good, but it wasn't the best episode I thought so far. And, a lot of people said the last episode was a really great episode. And looking back on it, it was a great episode. But one of the characters people have been talking about, who are excited about, is Wiccan, Billy Maximoff, a.k.a. played by Joe Locke. Which I think Joe Locke is amazing. I think he's going to be a rising talent in his next couple of years. But there's been a question. After Agatha All Along, where do these characters honestly fit into the larger scheme of the MCU? Where do you put them? Well, according to a new rumor, we might have some news on a Wiccan series, and maybe some Scarlet Witch and Young Avengers stuff as well, according to thecommon.movie.com. Rumor, Marvel Studios developing Wiccan series along with Young Avengers and Scarlet Witch. Now, we've talked at length that, there is going to be a Scarlet Witch movie. It's been rumored for the past year, and the rumors keep piling up more and more as we continue to go through Agatha All Along. We're going to do a Scarlet Witch movie. I personally think that Scarlet Witch film is going to be a Young Avengers Children Crusade or a Scarlet Witch Children Crusade film with the Maximoff twins going off to try to find what happened to their mother. Where is she? Is she still alive? Where is she right now? I think that's what they plan to do. Well, now we're getting reports, that they're working on a Wiccan solo show, a Scarlet Witch movie, and also a Young Avengers project that they still don't know is going to be Disney Plus or theatrical. I think these are very excited, but I think, out of these, I don't think we need a Wiccan show. Agatha All Along is, in my opinion, the Wiccan show, because it's diving into his character. I don't really think we need another series divulging into Wiccan. You could, there's what you can even do with Wiccan. My thing is, you can either put him in the center of a Scarlet Witch Children's Crusade movie, or you do a Young Avengers project and introduce him there. Because we did see that Mon Vellani's Miss Marvel is assembling a new, younger Avengers. And, she's going after, Cassie Lang, Kate Bishop, and I think Billy and Tommy Maximoff are going to be on that list. Who knows? Maybe Kamala Khan's going to show up at the end of this show to recruit Tom William into her Young Avengers roster. Now, this is all rumor, guys. We got to take this with a grain of salt. But I think, doing a Wiccan show, I think would be a step back for Marvel. Of course, I'd watch the show if it was announced today or tomorrow that Joe Locke will be leading his own show, and you got Hulking showing up, and now I'm all game for that. But I don't think it's needed. I think, you've already introduced this character, introduce him next, maybe in a Scarlet Witch film. Introduce him in a Young Avengers project, That's the way to go with the film. And, I know a lot of people do not want Young Avengers. They're like, oh, we don't need a Junior Avengers in Marvel. I'm like, okay, I see your point. But, right now there is no Avengers. I think one of the mainstays in the comics why the Young Avengers happened was because there were no Avengers. There was no team to protect people. And these were a bunch of kids, who wanted to come together and help people, recruited by, King the Conqueror, aka Iron Lad, who was an earlier / a younger version of King, who assembled characters like Patriot, who assembled characters like Wiccan, like Hulking. All these characters kind of came together, and I really concluded that comic the run of the Young Avengers really got my attention when Children's Crusade came out. And I've talked way too much about Children's Crusade on this series. I've talked about it in length so much. I think it's a great comic, and that's where I kind of see this going. A Children's Crusade comic. I don't think this would come in the phase we are right now. I think this project would honestly come after Multiverse. Because, you could kind of be like, where's Scarlet Witch? Scarlet Witch, we haven't seen her for 5 to 7 years in a film. Where has she been? Oh, look, she's off with our universe's Victor Von Doom. She's about to get married. Oh, what? Oh, she's a mutant? Oh, you can do all these cool little things. And I think the way the MCU is going, I think that's where we can get a best look at it. But guys, what do you think? Would you be down for a Wiccan TV series? And do you think we really need it? And if we didn't get that, do you think they would either do Young Avengers or Scarlet Witch to introduce this character next? Leave your comments down below, and let's move on to our final topic here today. And that is this. Alien Romulus. That movie surprised me in so many ways. Going into it, I was excited. I'm like, okay, I'll go see Alien Romulus. I came out of that movie saying, this might be my second or third favorite movie I've seen all year. I absolutely love the film. It got me more intrigued in the alien mythology, going back, watching lore videos on Alien, explaining kind of the timeline. And now, according to, I believe, the guy who runs 20th Century, he gave a little tease on what's coming. And he brought some balls. According to the Hollywood Reporter, a secret Predator movie, an Alien sequel, and Speed Free on the table, a chat with 20th Century Studios boss Steve Aswell. Now, the biggest thing, I read this article. It's a really interesting article. Go read it. It's kind of like they're interviewing the guy who runs everything. And, he has said, that they're trying to go back to these franchises, that seem dead, and they feel like they can revive them. Because they said they've had a really good year, Deadpool Wolverine, that is a Marvel Studios movie, but it's still under the 20th Century banner because they made those movies. They made the Deadpool films. So that was a success they can kind of latch onto as well. And then Alien Romulus, surprising everyone, making almost $350 million at the box office, being one of the second highest grossing Alien movies of all time, which is really great for the movie. And there were characters I really loved in there. Prey, being a surprise on streaming. It's a movie that we are going to be watching the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give you a little idea right now. We will be watching Prey on the channel. I cannot wait for that because I've never seen the movie before. They also had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, who almost grossed over $400 million, around the $350 million box office wise that film was. But the big thing is they asked him, Alien Romulus, what is next for Alien? And this is what he had to say. We're working on a sequel idea now. We haven't quite closed our deal with Fede Alvarez, but we are going to. And he has an idea that we're working on. The two survivors, Rain and Andy, played by Callie Spaney and David Johnson, were highlights of the film. And so I think of it like, wow, where do people want to see them go? We know there's going to be aliens. We know there's going to be great horror set pieces. But I fell in love with both of them, and I want to see what their story is. Which just tells us Fede has an idea. Now, I would say if Fede Alvarez has an idea for Alien, you let him run with it. We still got, I think the two best performances in that movie were Callie Spaney and David Johnson. David Johnson stole that whole movie. I think we can all agree. But I think Callie Spaney was great in it. I'm starting to really love Callie Spaney as an actress. My first kind of introduction to Callie Spaney was when I watched Civil War this year. I never really seen her before, and I loved her in that. And then I was like, oh, she's going to be an Alien Romulus? Oh, that's awesome. And I watched it, and I'm like, she really does seem like the next, big female action star in that film. She was great. I loved her. But David Johnson, this gives this guy more work because he is great. And I would love to see where these two go. What's going to be this story? And they said, they do say in this article, that Fede has an idea. Fede Alvarez has an idea. And, I think Fede Alvarez is one of the best horror directors working today. Look what he did with Evil Dead. Great. Look what he did with those Stephen Lang movies. I think they're called Don't Breathe. Great. And Alien Romulus, that movie is one of my favorite of the year. I'm still trying to get my family, because it's out on streaming right now, to watch the film because I love it so much. And I'm like, I gotta have them watch this movie. I'm so excited that Alien is continuing. Now, they also talk about a bit about Predator. Yes, Predator. We do know we have a new Predator movie coming in 2025, but it's a spin-off of the Prey movie. It's called Predator Badlands. I don't know much about that film. I don't know much. But a lot of us have been wondering, are we going to get a sequel to Prey? Are we going to get a sequel? You know, that's been the question. You know, people really want a sequel to Prey. People love Amber Midthunder. She was great in it. And this is what they had to say. And this is what he said. Yes, a Predator movie will have a theatrical. I'll tell you very simply, after Prey became a success, and Dan, the director, I think, who directed the film, came back and said he didn't want to do Prey 2. And we're like, what do you want to do? And he rattled off a bunch of ideas. They were really crazy, but really cool. We've actually done 2 of them. 2 are coming out next year. One I can't talk about yet, but the other one is the live-action Predator film with Ella Fanning that just wrapped in New Zealand. That will be out theatrically sometime next year. It's titled Badlands, and it is an absolutely bonkers idea. It is a sci-fi thing, but it's not what everybody thinks it is. And I mean, it's awesome. It's so nuts, but Dan, retrust. There's a second Predator movie that will have different plans for Dan, has actually directed both. So not only has the guy who directed Prey directed not one other Predator movie, but another Predator movie is coming, which is a bit of a secret right now. I like to think that it's Prey 2, but we gotta think, this is the same guy who directed the Prey movie. He's doing another one. Who's not to say that these two are going to culminate in a film together, bringing maybe Amber Midthunder and maybe Ella Fanning's character together. We still don't know where Ella Fanning's character, is based, what time she's in. It could have something to do with time travel. Who knows? But this Secret Predator project does have my interest. Very much have my interest. They do say in the article as well, they have no interest in doing a Predator versus Alien movie, which I think is great. Keep those franchises separate. Let Fetty do his own thing. Let Dan do his own thing. Let these guys make the movies they want to do. Because right now, Predator and Alien seem like they're on track to becoming big name franchises again. But guys, what do you think? New Alien and Predator news coming out with this interview with the CEO of 20th Century Films. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for these films? I'm personally jazzed about seeing Alien coming back to the big screen. Leave your comments down below, and thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys continue to watch this series. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.